Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to go over the mods you should definitely get to improve your gameplay experience in Starfield. I'm not going to go over the really funny and fun mods like this amazing Todd Howard flashlight you can use, God Howard guiding you through space and time with his light. But yeah, we will save those mods for a different video, so definitely subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. Big thank you to the modders that make our lives easier. The mods I'll be going over are going to be mostly quality of life ones that vastly improve your game's graphics, immersive gameplay, and other things that I'm sure many of you will appreciate. All the mods will be linked in the video description down below, and as a precaution, always save your game and shut it down before you install any mods. Keep saves frequent and older saves available just in case Starfield goes haywire with a mod you installed. The very first mod I would recommend downloading is Baka Achievement Enabler, created by Shadowshade 3, or if you want an alternative to the one on Nexus Mods, you can check this one out on fearlessrevolution.com, made by Sunbeam, linked as well in the description, which apparently also works with an inventory mod that we'll cover later in the video. If you're playing Starfield on the PC either through Steam or Game Pass, you'll note that when you open up the console, you get an in-game notification saying, use of certain console commands will disable achievements. Well, you certainly don't want to miss out on getting achievements just because you use some mods or commands that may trigger this. Either way, these mods will let you be at ease and not worry about which mods could do what as far as achievements go once it activates and marks your saves as not modded in Starfield. Right after this one, if you are like me and you use an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll notice that Starfield does not support DLSS natively, which is rather unfortunate. However, there is a DLSS 2 and 3 mod available for free, created by Pure Dark and Luke FZ, respectively, and I have a really quick video covering how to install and use the DLSS 2 mod, along with a pinned comment explanation that covers installation for Game Pass if you guys want to check it out. To keep it simple, DLSS can help give us a higher resolution, slightly better imaging and sharpening of textures, graphics in Starfield with our NVIDIA GPU, and depending on your card series like 2080 or older, it can sometimes make a difference in FPS as well. I highly recommend you check the comments on my mentioned video out for troubleshooting if you run into problems, as a lot of people are having different issues with either the installation or functionality of this mod. If you want to go with the DLSS 3, to take advantage of the frame generation if you use the 4000 series NVIDIA cards, good news, it's no longer being paywalled and is being offered for free by a different modder. You can still use this DLSS 3 mod even if you don't have a 4000 series. Just note that the DLSS 3 mod may conflict with Reshade if you have that running. Personally, I swapped over from the DLSS 2 mod to the DLSS 3, and so far I don't have any issues. The third mod you may want to take a look at is the in-game FOV Changer, created by Keanu Wees. One of the many things I pointed out in my Starfield press review was that there was no FOV adjustment made available in Starfield, which I think is really weird, especially if Bethesda's offering motion blur, and many players will undoubtedly spend their playtime in first-person view. Since my friends and I installed this mod and adjusted our FOV settings in either the third or first-person view, the game has been less headache-inducing. I personally prefer about 100 for the first-person view instead of default 85, and about 80 or so for the third-person view. Any higher in first person, it feels like I'm in a fishbowl. You don't have to dig into the settings or INI files for this mod. You can just adjust your FOV with the in-game console commands as shown in this video, so you don't have to keep restarting the game to see what your new FOV is like. The fourth mod I would highly recommend is StarUI Inventory, created by M8R98A4F2. This mod is an absolute godsend, especially if you're spending a lot of time with Starfield's merchants and vendors, and if you're also playing the inventory minigame. The UI improvement to the buy and sell windows isn't the only thing to take advantage of, but also the filters and different categories, which is really nice for those of you who like to organize things. Information like how many of what item you have, how much they weigh, and their value in credits is also displayed much better in my opinion than the default UI offered by Starfield. Speaking of inventory management, the next mod tackles that on as well. A lot of us loot goblins don't like how much time we've been spending into managing our inventories in Starfield, even when we have all 4 ranks of the weightlifting skill, and we use our darling companions. Infinite ship storage created by Troy Irving helps a lot with that by changing your spaceship's cockpit storage capacity to 500,000. If you're like me and you love designing ships but you hate the look of those big bulky cargo modules, or you just want to focus less on inventory management overall, this is the mod for you. The modder remarks that if you need more than 500,000 storage on your ship, honestly, seek help. Well, I'm sure some of us will need that help, but ever since I installed this mod, I've been enjoying the exploration aspect of Starfield a lot more and feel less encumbered, pardon the pun, by the time investment I needed to split between inventory management, severe oxygen management, and engaging in the actual gameplay. Another mod I'd recommend is definitely BetterHUD, created by Matt. It modifies the default heads-up display in seemingly small, but actually really nice ways. I personally hate seeing pop-ups in the middle of my screen. I'm looking at you, Warzone, while things are going on. BetterHUD moves those pop-ups from the middle of your screen whenever you explore something or gain XP towards the bottom middle of your screen, which might not seem like a big deal, but man, it's a different experience when you're actually playing. The second mod file for BetterHUD also lets you disable enemy health bars, enemy levels, and hit markers if you want to do that as well, which can be really nice for a more immersive experience in Starfield. An alternative for BetterHUD's second file, if you want to disable just the enemy health bars, is a mod called No Enemy Health Bars, created by CNRJ. While we're on the topic of health bars, you can actually get a mod called Enhanced Player Health Bar created by Silver Azrides, which does a simple but nice thing. I found myself sometimes ignoring my health bar because it blends too well with the rest of the HUD and UI, and the bright red color when I dip too low can sometimes come too late. Enhanced Player Health Bar adds more color variation to your health bar, which solves the issue I mentioned, and honestly, the colors and everything make sense. The next must-have mod is going to have to be Undelayed Launching, created by Seb263. This mod lets you skip all the Starfield intro screens when you launch it, and when you finally get to the start menu to open it up, you don't experience that weird slight delay before it asks you to press any key to get into the actual menu. And the mod also removes that nice message of the day on the main menu, while also increasing the FPS of the start screen to 60 FPS, which looks really nice when you compare to it before you installed it. Since we're talking about menus, there's a really awesome mod created by the same modder called Undelayed Menus, which vastly improves, in my opinion, the user experience of the various functionalities, interfaces, and menus of Starfield, which all players will spend a considerable amount of time in. The user experience of Starfield's base game is undoubtedly a huge point that's been brought up by not just myself, but many other players. Undelayed Menus gets rid of the fading effects that delay the opening and closing of menus, increases all in-game menu FPS to 60, and speeds up the press to exit buttons, letting us manage things a lot faster. Undelayed Menus affects the data, inventory, container, barter, map and planet information menus as well. This mod will save you a lot of time and help Starfield feel a lot better to play through. Yet another great mod you should get is Smooth Ship Reticle, created by Alex Bull UK, and what it does is pretty simple. All it does is increase your spaceship's heads-up display to run up to 120 FPS, and this is really nice because in base game Starfield, your ship HUD is capped at 30 FPS for some reason, and looks really clunky or weird most of the time, considering a lot of us are playing way above 30 FPS if we're playing on PC. The difference can definitely be felt on my end, cruising around or fighting other ships after I install the mod, so I highly recommend it. The final 3 mods I'm covering in this video are must-haves in my opinion, more for people who want to go absolutely crazy and have progressed into at least New Game Plus 2 or beyond, or may want to load a completely new character. Lazy Cheats, created by RockJB, lets you input easy console commands to get free credits, digipix, mass, and yes, even XP. In my opinion, it's a must-have, especially if you're doing multiple New Game Pluses or new game loads where you do lose your material gains when you start them and you want to focus on other things instead in your gameplay. Killable Essential NPCs made by AC Denton is a really fun mod. By default, Starfield does not let you kill NPCs deemed essential or quest givers not meant for the Black Sea. Now just a heads up about this mod, while you can now go on killing sprees and permanently kill all those NPCs, merchants, and ruin the universe, it can bug out quests, especially if your quest objective NPCs or quest givers are required to finish the quest or advance to the next step of the quest chain. So I would really only use this mod if you want to go absolutely crazy in your New Game Pluses. But even if you want to install the mod before New Game Plus, make sure to do semi-frequent saves if you're going to quest. This last mod of Easy Digipick, made by Ixion the 17th, I think are for those of you who may be bored of the lockpicking minigame after a while. But personally, I would never use it, as I actually enjoy the lockpicking in Starfield and don't see myself losing interest anytime soon. There is a similar mod made by the same modder called Easy Speech, which gives you a 100% chance of succeeding persuasion checks, but again, that one is also personal preference, especially after you put a lot of time into Starfield. And that's it for now. Just a side note, I would highly recommend reading installation instructions for a couple of mods, or just every mod in general, like StarUI Inventory, and you may need to install things like Bethini Pi or Starfield Script Extender to avoid a few headaches when installing mods that need archive invalidation or need certain INI files modified. If you guys are using mods you didn't see in my video, definitely suggest it for the others below in the comment section. I would love to see what you're using as well. Also, just a reminder that while Nexus Mods Vortex program seems to be doing okay with all the things I've listed as of me making this video, worst case scenario, you can always, again, just follow the instructions written by the modders in the description pages on Nexus Mods to work out potential issues or installation hurdles. If you guys want me to make specific mod videos where I show how to install things and how to configure them, let me know down in the comments below and I will work on the most highly requested one. Thanks for watching and see you out there in the Starfield.